The first thing that you have to do when you're combating lust is understand the loop. The brain creates neural pathways through repetition. Every time you entertain a sexual thought and don't direct it, the pathway will inevitably get stronger. Through neuroplasticity, which is basically the brain's ability to change over time, your brain's wiring can change. Proverbs 23:7 shows us that as a man thinks, so is he. The loop runs because it has never been interrupted long enough to die. So I want you to ask yourself, what is your loop? After you understand your loop, you have to identify your triggers. Is it social media? Is it fantasizing? Is it songs? Is it staying up late? Is it thirst trap content? Because you can't fight what you haven't identified. A lot of people combating lust suffer without knowing their triggers, and they wonder why the loop keeps on playing over and over again. That's because you haven't identified what triggers you and how to combat it. After identifying your triggers, you have to silence all of the noise. This is probably arguably the most important one. You have to silence the media, silence the shows, silence the people, the peer pressure, the conversations that you have that steer your mind away from God. You have to silence all of these. In Philippians 3, it shows us that when you're silencing the noise and when you feel like you're losing the things of the flesh, you're actually gaining things in the spirit. So whatever loss that you've had, you have to consider that as a gain. Ask yourself, would you rather keep the lust and lose God, or lose the lust and keep God? I'm going to say it again. Would you rather keep the lust and lose God, or lose the lust and keep God? When you silence the noise, you have to replace or supplant your bad habits with ones that are more conducive for your success. Look at this sequence of events. Old habit, empty space. Old habit returns. Old habit, new habit. That's where transformation begins. The goal is not just to stop doing something. The goal is to teach your brain a better response. Every habit creates a pathway in the brain. The more you walk that path, the easier it becomes. When you choose a new response consistently, you're building a new pathway. At first, it feels unnatural. Then it becomes familiar. And then it becomes automatic. You have to starve the fantasy. Guys, lust lives in imagination. The thought itself may come uninvited, but the fantasy is a choice. The moment you begin to entertain and build on the thought, you are feeding the pattern. Interrupt it at the thought stage before it becomes a scene in your head, because when it becomes a scene in your head, it will then become an action. And when it's an action, you start to feel the shame, the regret, the guilt. But when you starve the fantasy and when you starve your imagination and you think of things of the spirit, you think of more godly things, that's when transformation begins. Read, memorize, and meditate Romans 12:2. Do this at least 3 times. Read, memorize, and meditate on Romans 12:2. As you can see here, this guy is literally starving because he's hungry. Just like how this guy is starving because he's hungry, you have to starve the fantasy of lust because it only lives in your imagination. When you act upon your imagination, that's when you start to see the desires manifest. You have to address the void. Lust is never about what you think it is. It's about loneliness. It's about validation. It's about boredom. It can be a need for connection or just wanting to escape. Ask yourself what you're actually hungry for in the moment the thought comes. The pattern is the symptom, but the void is the root. When you're feeling these lustful thoughts, ask yourself, am I feeling lustful or am I really feeling lonely? Do I want to act on this or do I really need validation? Do I want to do this or am I really just feeling bored? Do I want to act on this lustful thought or do I really just crave a connection with someone? Do I just want to escape the life that I've been living? What is the root cause of your lust? Number 7, which is one of the most transformative things that you could do, is create a sacred morning for yourself. How your day starts sets the tone for your thought life. If the first thing your mind consumes is social media or music with the wrong energy, you have already opened a door. Guys, music has frequencies. You have to also guard what your eyes are seeing in the morning. When you wake up, God is waking you up from your slumber. You've made it through a night where so many didn't make it through. So you have to take that time to be intimate with God, and you have to take that time to understand yourself. Build a morning that fills you before the world gets access to you. This can be prayer, scripture, journaling, or just setting your intentions in the morning time. One of the worst things that you could do is wake up and immediately be on autopilot, checking your phone, just getting straight to the day. But if you take that time just to rest and meditate on God and think about where you're actually going in life, then you'll start to feel that your mornings feel lighter. And I have some scriptures here for you. I put these here because I want you guys to actually go and read them and meditate on them. So you can take a screenshot or you can save this for later. But these scriptures really helped me in creating a sacred morning for myself. After creating a sacred morning, you have to have accountability. You have to have accountability without shame. Have an accountability system that will hold you viable and accountable for your actions. I know that this could be an embarrassing topic or a shameful topic, but 60 to 75% of people recovering from lust experience at least one relapse episode, which is fine. But without an accountability or therapeutic support system, that rate climbs significantly higher. So whether it's your friend, your mom, your dad, your sister, a partner of yours, someone that you're telling this to that can hold you accountable. Darkness loses power when it's exposed. James 5:16 shows us that we have to confess our struggles to one another and be healed. It is okay to confess and to allow people to know what you're going through, because that is the conception of your healing. Okay, people have held you accountable. You've created a sacred morning. You've identified your triggers. Now it's time to renew your identity. You will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with lust, inevitably you will keep struggling. Begin to see yourself as someone who has already, and I say it again, already been set free and is walking that out daily. See yourself how God sees you. 2 Corinthians 5:17, you are a new creation, so walk like it. Renewing your identity doesn't have to be something that is incredibly long. You can just say, I am not this person anymore. I do not identify with that lustful version of myself. I am a new person. I have new habits. And as soon as you make that verbal identity shift, then you'll start to see that you believe in yourself more. Your confidence increases because you're no longer identifying with that old version of yourself. And then finally, you have to transmute that energy, lock in on your purpose, whether it's content, whether it's starting an organization, whether it's starting up that business, writing a book, or instilling physical discipline. You have to transmute this sexual energy into something that is more conducive for your success. Energy can neither be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred or transmuted into another form. I always tell my clients to envision themselves taking all of that lustful energy and imagine themselves putting it into something that will be beneficial for them. And they always imagine themselves and they see themselves with their careers skyrocketing. When my clients come to me and they say that they feel like they're at the breakthrough of their career, their rap career, their content creating, but their lust is holding them back, and they start to see their careers begin to improve because their mind is no longer divided. The energy that was being wasted on destructive patterns gets redirected towards growth, purpose, and becoming the person that God created them to be. So many people don't know how much lust can drain you and how much it can prevent you from breaking through and excelling and leaping into that next level that you know that you can get to. If you are struggling with lust, and if you know that you were meant for more, but you don't understand the path, you don't know how to unlock your potential, I am here to help you, and I am here to support your transformation. Go to brielbama.com and apply for coaching. I am ready to see you excel. If you enjoy videos like this, make sure to subscribe for more. Thank you so much, and see you next time.